This is the laptop that was supposed to change the way we see gaming laptops. It is marketed as a product that's upgradable with desktop class performance. I've been using this laptop for a while, and here are my thoughts about the Alienware Area 51M. The Area 51 name was supposed to signify the flagship of Alienware's expensive lineup of gaming computers. The desktop version came in a large, full tower chassis with tons of room to breathe, expand, and customize to your heart's desires. To this day, the original specs I had still lived up to my daily needs in both gaming and productivity, but I wanted something that was powerful and portable. Its design factor is definitely a behemoth like its desktop counterpart. Dimensions are on the larger side, especially when you include its power supplies, but considering its specs and screen size, it's surprisingly manageable but dwarfs my daily 15-inch MacBook Pro in comparison. The surface itself is coated with this rubberized material on top of a magnesium alloy body, which gives it a nice premium feel to it, but it does tend to leave fingerprints, even on this dark side of the moon color. Speaking of fingerprints, the one thing I didn't like about this device's design are the glossy parts, which is very prone to fingerprints, or worse, scratches, which can easily happen when you're trying to clean the laptop. Underneath the chassis, you've got Alienware designed honeycomb vents, which does a great job maximizing airflow. It sucks all the air in from underneath and pushes it out to these giant grills behind the laptop. Speaking of airflow, with its size comes a great advantage, which is cooling. I've never once faced thermal throttling with this device, with fans only coming on when I do heavy gaming or when I do video editing. You've got a full-size keyboard that's excellent to type on. It's got toggles between macro keys on its side and full-spectrum RGB lighting, and typing is great on this keyboard. I actually prefer it more to my MacBook Pro's butterfly switch keyboard, and it's a joy to type on. Oh, and speaking of RGB lighting, how can we forget Alienware's signature lighting all around the device? For ports, on one side you've got two USB 3 ports, and on the other you've got one USB 3, a Thunderbolt port, as well as a standard mic and headphone jack. Behind, you've got the typical HDMI out and a mini display port which supports GSync, a 2.5 gigabit per second Ethernet port, the proprietary Alienware graphics amplifier port, and dual AC power inputs. Now, as a professional, it would have been nice to include an SD card reader since the Alienware Area 51 desktop had one. It's not like it's a dying format, and it would have been nice to just have it included. For this generation, the screen resolution offering came only with a 1920 by 1080p option, which to me is perfect for a portable device, and a choice of G-Sync which made games so fluid to game on. Another add-on I got with my Area 51M was the Tobii eye tracking software, which seemed cool and can track your eye and head movements. The only time I'd use it is to switch between apps, but overall I just keep it off. Going back to those dual AC adapters, the one complaint everyone's been having were these two power bricks needed to get full performance out of this laptop. You still get away with gaming on one adapter. And I found that most modern games run just fine on a 1080p screen with even high settings. So when would you actually use two power adapters then, if most cases you can get away with just one? Let me show you. The Area 51M replaces my Area 51 desktop because it's just so ideal to plug it into my ultra widescreen display, and with its mini display port that supports G-Sync, I can get the best of both worlds in portability and power. The dual AC adapter powers the RTX 2080 desktop GPU, giving me awesome results with games and work on my ultra widescreen display with ease. So what about that upgradable feature we were told about? Although it's typical to replace and upgrade storage and memory options since forever on laptops, it's also not new for companies to integrate the desktop CPU into their laptops. However, Dell's Alienware division tried to implement a user replaceable option for both the CPU and the GPU in the Area 51M. Now, although this works great in theory, and it does work, you're only limited within the CPU generation socket. For example, for me, I got the i7-9700K, which was for the LGA 1151 socket. I can still upgrade to the i9-9900K processor, which is also meant for the LGA 1151 socket. With the release of the refreshed version of the Area 51M, I was hoping for a revamped 10th generation CPU that I can upgrade, but this time Intel decided that the 1151 socket is no more and went with the newer socket type, hence the i9-9900K is the best I can go. But how about the graphics card? This is what confuses me about Dell's graphics card for the Area 51M. Dell's graphics card for the Area 51M comes in a custom designed Dell Graphics Form Factor, or DGFF, which, regardless of the motherboard like the CPU socket, in theory, you should be able to just plug in a newer GPU that Dell comes out with. But Dell announced that with the revision of the Area 51M, the original 51M can only upgrade both GPU and CPU within their respective generations. Now, honestly, I have no regrets getting this computer because this is still truly a very powerful device running top-notch hardware. Would I buy another one? Yes, most likely, since I am very satisfied with the performance and portability I've gotten from it so far. But if you can find one of these used, you're probably better off getting that as opposed to getting the latest version of the Area 51M, now knowing there is some degree of upgradability with the Alienware Area 51M, and it would serve you for a long time. My name is Paolo, and I hope you found the video useful. And as usual, leave a comment below on your thoughts about the Area 51M or the Area 51 desktop. And if you liked the video, please leave a like below or sub if you found it awesome. Till next time.